Well, good day, everybody. It's the second of April, 2025. It's just after 3 in the afternoon, and yeah, I got out of class today, so I can say some news. It's kind of hard to switch gears. You know, you get out of class and you're thinking on a completely different topic and trying to concentrate on that, and then you got to go and start talking about news. But you know me, I can do that. I'm great. Okay, I was watching this morning, some things on Telegram, and there was this, what's her name, Caroline Levitt. She's that cute blonde girl that is the White House press secretary. Very sharp too. She's really, really sharp. It's incredible. It's like you look at this girl and you think, she's going to be dumb or at best average, and she's not neither. She's actually really smart. She thinks on her feet really well, so you know, far better than whoever that one that Biden had, or a lot of the other ones in the past. So she's got a future, I guess I would say. She could be a congresswoman very easily. I guess she's probably got a law degree because she's really, really sharp. So, okay, anyway, they're talking about, well, she was talking to some reporters about, there's this gang, and I never even heard of these people. It's called the MS-13 in the United States. And they operate heavily also in Washington, D.C., but most of the time, apparently, it's in on the eastern coast of the United States. And they're doing all kinds of things. I assume they're also into drugs, but she didn't mention drugs. She was just talking about murders and lots of rapes and really, really cruel things, cutting people's hands off, cutting their heads off, raping women, 13-year-olds. If you insult them, they'll kill you, things like that. And they're operating, I don't know, what do you say, freely in the United States. And apparently the press, and maybe backed by the Democrats, they're trying to make these people like, well, somebody wrote, like some guy that, I think he was one of the leaders, and the Democrats are trying to make it look like he should get the Father of the Year award or something like that. I wonder which way I should go here so I don't get, I went this way last time. Yeah, this was a little bit better with the light. And I'm not here by mistake, you know, I'm telling you guys are complaining a lot about YouTube and why it's taking so long for them to upload videos, like 20-minute videos. It takes the entire day, things like that. And then sometimes I get a video, I make it 50 minutes or an hour, and it uploads in 20 minutes or something. And somebody was suggesting settings, and I was thinking of that. Well, then I started to realize, no, it can't be the settings, because you know, I've not changed anything. And why are there some that are very fast and most of them are very, very slow? So I have no idea. I guess they love me at YouTube. That's all I can think of. Okay, and I was talking about Diego Garcia. It's that island, and it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's like a somewhat equal distance from India as it is from Africa. Very strategic, I guess. And traditionally it was occupied, so to speak, by the British. And then, of course, the Americans took it over. And when I was reading something about this before, it's like they just didn't say anything, and all of a sudden the Americans took it over. But I do not know if it's the entire base, I mean the entire island, because they say the base is called Diego Garcia, and I think the island or islands are the Chagos Islands, and I guess now it belongs to Mauritius. I don't know, I think I was knowing the German word. I think it was Mauritanius or something, but it says here that's Mauritius. I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. I just know kind of where it's at and a little bit about it from the past. And like the people there, they were very cruelly treated and kicked off, and I think a lot of them died under them, like the British and the Americans. You know, they're really nice guys, the Americans, you know, like you see what they're doing in Gaza. You know what Trump wants to do to Gaza. But that's just a part of our history, I guess, treating indigenous peoples that way. So, or maybe we should just take those people and take them to the United States and have them be as slaves or something. I don't know. Nothing new under the sun anyway. And I guess now the U.S. has this base. It's a big air base, and they're loading it full, and I guess they're sending submarine or two, and lots and lots of airplanes, lots of bombers, I think those 7. I saw an article that said they have 7 B-2 bombers there, and lots of other airplanes, and who knows what. Probably putting missiles there, everything. You name it, they got it, baby. That's what I'm guessing. And I guess they're sending a lot of things like that all throughout the area, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be used against Iran, and I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, well, is it going to be Iran, or is it going to be against the Houthis? But the Houthis, I don't think they have that much strength, so I don't think it's going to be. They don't need to put that much against the Houthis right now. They have the USS. What is it? Which one? I'm hearing about all these different aircraft carriers the United States has all over the place, and it's the Harry Truman, I guess, and they're bombing Yemen on a constant basis with that. And how do I need even say like that Israel is bombing like Lebanon and Gaza? They just never stop, and they make up any kind of an excuse to do it and say something about terrorists or who knows what, and then they bomb people's homes. That's a normal thing. Yes. And after Trump saying that he's going to bomb Iran, if they don't prove that they're ending their imaginary nuclear weapons program that they don't have, So, but it's what's funny? It's not funny, but it's strange. Iran is now talking about that they will maybe start a nuclear weapons program because of these severe threats by the United States. And just, Trump came right out and said he's going to bomb it like no one has ever seen, unless they stop their nuclear weapons program that they don't have. So I makes you wonder, well, how are you going to prove a negative? That's how that's happening. So. And Netanyahu, he told us back in the 1980s, I think in 1984, he started telling us that Iran is, I think back then he was saying Iran's 2 months away from having a nuclear bomb. But I think in the last 10 or 15 years, Iran is 2 weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. He maybe has maybe he's got a time machine. I really don't know. So maybe it's not working, the time machine. Maybe he went to a parallel time and saw that Iran had nuclear bombs or something. I don't know. Yes. Anyway, good job, Trump. If they actually do start to get nuclear weapons, Iran isn't just some of these little weakling countries that the United States has been bombing all the time. And I don't even know if the buildup that he's actually doing right now is going to be enough. And apparently a lot of these military bases, and they have launchers, and of course they can reach Israel and beyond. A lot of the missiles from Iran, and a lot of them are very, very hardened, and there's lots of these places, and I don't know, does the U.S. know where all of them are at? It's very strange that Israel knows, and they actually have been hitting a lot of leaders of Hamas. They know where they're all at, and a lot of time, of course, they're just bombing places, even though it doesn't contain, maybe contains, or maybe they think, so that they just bomb it anyway, and they're not getting any of these, what they call terrorists, Hezbollah or Hamas or whatever. They just bomb someplace. Maybe the person's sleeping over at some other place. I have no idea, because it's always done at night, as you all know. Yeah, Ukraine is continuing to bomb Russia's energy infrastructure in spite of the ceasefire agreement. And I think I told you guys at one time, I think the Russians look at it as beginning on the 25th of March, and I think that the Ukrainians, they set a date a little bit later, but still, nevertheless, Ukraine is still bombing, even after that date that they recognize. So, and Trump, well, I'll get into that. For some odd reason, he's more angry at Russia than he is at Iran. So, yeah. And Zelensky says that Russia is bombing Ukraine's energy infrastructure in spite of the ceasefire, but he just doesn't have any proof. And he says something, he's going to show proof. But you know how Ukraine is, just like Bucha. Look at that proof. And then they had, I don't know, I don't even want to talk about that. What a stupid bunch of crap. anyway, but they're going to come up with something that they're going to call proof. I just hope they have people that have at least maybe 3 or 4 brain cells working when Zelensky shows his proof. And Russia has provided proof to the United States, and not just what we've been seeing on Telegram and on these film footage, but also I guess they have other evidence, and they've been showing this evidence, I guess, also to the United Nations, and they're silent. Everybody's silent. The United States is completely silent. They don't say anything about it. They say nothing about the fact that Ukraine is violating it constantly. Yes, it's going to be like the Minsk Accords. Remember when there was an agreement signed and Ukraine didn't obey it, and nobody said anything? It wasn't in the press anywhere. I guess it was towards the beginning of time, until the United States started making some sort of agreements to, who knows, some backroom deals or something with Ukraine, and then it was immediately stopped. They stopped reporting on Ukraine bombing civilians and killing innocent people at the, when was it, in like 2015 or around that time, or 2014, whenever they started the bombing. Yeah, great. Yes, and it looks like Trump, all of these times when he said that he's going to stop this conflict, he said he's going to stop it even before he gets into office. That didn't happen. But I think even before that he was saying, I'll do it in 1 day when I get into office, even before I get, but he hasn't done that. And it's been over 100 days, he hasn't stopped it. Trump is getting a little bit frustrated too. He thought everything is so easy. He thought all he has to do is order something and have some threats, and that's all it takes. And he doesn't realize that a lot of these people, look at even Zelensky. But Zelensky does not have pride in his country. Zelensky has pride in his ideology. So he is not giving up, not because he loves this country, but he loves the ideology. He is there to support the Nazism. And a lot of these people are. Ursula von der Leyen, a lot of these people, they don't give a crap about their people or their countries. They have this ideology, and they want their comfort and their luxuries and their pride. It's mostly their pride as well. Well, that's part of their ideology, is this pride. We are the greatest. So that's what that's all about. So, but anyway, it's not going to make it to April 20th either. I don't think. Trump's other view is he wants the war stopped by April 20th. Well, good luck on that one. And he's pissed off at Putin. I'll get into that a little bit. There's not really much to say, just that he's more pissed off at Putin. But the U.S. Senate has passed a bill that co-sponsored by Lindsey Graham, for more sanctions against Russia. More. These people, you should hear about some of the other ones. I don't know if it's the same, because it's also led by the Senate, and they're proposing now, get this, any country who buys oil, gas, or uranium even, and I think does that include the United States? They get a lot of their uranium from Russia, but any country that buys these things, or who knows what, maybe everything from Russia, will get stuck with a 500% tariffs. And I was thinking that they've already sanctioned Russia enough, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. What was Joe Biden doing then? 500% tariffs. So in other words, anybody doing anything with Russia they can't do business with the United States. That's what it all boils down to. And apparently that was quite successful when Trump was doing something like that to Venezuela, because it really impoverished Venezuela. They did still do some trading. I don't know how, but they survived. And a lot of I guess that's what made a lot of Venezuelans run to the United States. So that increased the migration. But Trump, maybe he's got the border sealed, so he's going to sock it to everybody. And then let's get on to the tariffs that are coming as well. Wow, this is a lot of news today. Germany has declared they have their first permanent base outside of Germany in a long time. When they say a long time, they mean since Adolf Hitler's time in World War II. So now Germany is back. Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! They're back. Germany's back. They got a base in Lithuania. I think, 5,000 soldiers? 5,000 soldiers, yeah. We have complete with the tanks and everything, probably not with swastika, because they got the Maltese cross on there, like the German ones did in those days, and what like the Ukrainians have on their tanks, Leopards and all that. So we'll see. And they're ready for that attack on Belarus, because that's what they're going to be. That's their first place. So it looks like that's going to be, actually it seems like it always happens to be. If you look back in history, a lot of times the attacks on Russia, for example, it always went through Belarus. And if you go back, I mean, not just Napoleon, Hitler, even before that, it comes through Belarus. So you guys have to subscribe to my channel if you want me to be reporting on this kind of stuff, so you can watch the war as it's going to be coming. Push the like button and subscribe now. What a better selling point, huh? And I'll keep you informed when the war starts here. So, and I'll tell you what, they're going to roll fast. If they do cross into Belarus, there's no like dragon's teeth or nothing like that. And Lukashenko even said they'll roll really fast, maybe all the way to around Minsk. And there's the Stalin line. At one time, during the time of Stalin, they had a lot of bunkers and things like that. It was supposed to stop the advance towards Russia. So who knows, maybe Belarus and Russia are going to be building some very heavy defenses very soon on the border. But you know, Europe is saying, well, they want it to they want to, you know, provoke the war. Actually, they want Russia. They say Russia will start the war around 2029. In other words, they're going to provoke Russia. But actually, they're doing a good job right now. They're probably going to provoke it even before that time. So, wow. Okay. Epstein Files, Virginia Giuffre. She's that one that's in the photo with Prince Andrew. Well, apparently she was in a car accident, and there's conflicting stories that, it was just a minor accident, and it's no big deal, and that she's lying, and she's like, part of that was put out by, I think, the girlfriend of Prince Andrew, saying, oh, this girl's just a liar and a con artist, you know, I don't know. But apparently she's not. So well, she's a woman now, but she was hit by a bus. She was a passenger apparently in a car, and it was slammed into real hard with a bus. You know, that sounds like, you know, I tell you what, that doesn't sound suspicious. I don't know what was. It's just like Epstein's cameras were turned off when Epstein supposedly committed suicide. Isn't that weird? It's so weird that the people that have something against big and powerful people, there's always the cameras are turned off, or car accident, or the brakes go out. You know, like Clinton, how many times did the brakes go out on people that knew stuff about the Clintons? You know, it's incredible. Or even Hillary, when she was running for president, a couple of people died there. I think one was a justice, I think it was a justice of the Supreme Court. He was crushed by weights, lifting weights in the weight room, and there was Seth Rich. Remember, he was robbed and killed. You know, he was working on Clinton's campaign, but apparently he liked Bernie Sanders a lot more. It's very strange. They robbed and killed him, but they didn't take his money. That's really strange. Rob a person, but don't take their money? I wonder what they took. Oh, it was a flash drive, I guess. You know, flash drives, they're expensive, you know. So I guess that's what they wanted, was a flash drive. Yes. Okay, anyway, this Virginia Giuffre, it was in Australia, you know, another buddies of the United States. And her condition is pretty bad. And I guess she's got some renal failure and something with her kidney. That means that you're gonna, you need some, like, kidney dialysis. You need some special treatment, or else you will die. So makes you wonder what's gonna happen there. Doesn't sound too good anyway. Yeah, and I guess, you know, when the accident occurred, the police didn't even show up. Isn't that strange? So there wasn't anybody necessarily there to call the ambulance, you know, like the police normally do. It's very strange. So they didn't even go there, not even go to the crime scene, the crime scene either. Yes. And there's another report that says she's fighting for her life. You know, I know she's got it pretty bad, but fighting for her life, I don't know. I mean, if you don't get this help, obviously she would be fighting for her life. And apparently the post that was put up, it also, there's some story saying that she says that was put up in error, or maybe it was meant for a relative, or maybe it wasn't meant to be sent, or maybe it was fake, or maybe it was accurate. I don't know. It's just, you don't know what the truth is anymore. I mean, it's so easy to make up the lies, especially in these cases like this, when things involve very important people. You always get a lot of strange, different stories. So, Okay, now get a little bit more into this Trump stuff. News is saying Trump is accusing Putin of stalling the peace plan. I don't think that that's even fake news. I think he's really saying that. I think he really did come out and say it. And a lot of this stuff, I don't know. A lot, that the peace plan isn't going through. I mean, that was I called that. I think everybody, because they're just way too far apart. Actually, Zelensky, he sort of demands a ceasefire. He demands a surrender of Russia. Basically, that's what he wants. He wants Russia to surrender, and the things that Putin wants, because Ukraine, Zelensky, he's not answerable to his people or his country, like I just told you. He's answerable to the ideology, so he doesn't really care if he fights to the last Ukrainian, and he doesn't care if the soil is completely destroyed and all the houses. I mean, think about even Poroshenko. These people that run the government there in Ukraine. I mean, if they thought that the Donbass area, which means Lugansk and Donetsk, was part of their country, why did they bomb and kill those people? Why were they bombing, and why were they making jokes and fun about bombing and killing those people? Does it sound like they really love those people? That they really look at them as Ukrainian people? I don't think so. Not even Crimea. Why were they bombing Crimea and killing? They even bombed the beaches where people were on the beaches. You guys saw that too. So yeah, they really love their people there. So it's like I was saying this before. I don't really see an end to this, and this could end in 1 month, and it could end. It couldn't end. Maybe it couldn't end at all. Maybe it's going to be going. When I say bye-bye, when we all take that long rest in another place, it'll probably still be going. It's really weird. Once these like Ukraine got portions of different countries, because Ukraine was actually a very small region of Russia before, and that's what it means. That was the word is Ukraina, means on the edge of Russia. And so anyway, Stalin and even who was it? What's that guy? Lenin from the Beatles. Paul McCartney. No, Lenin. No, Vladimir Lenin. That's a different Lenin. Lenin, he was giving. He's a matter of fact, he's the guy that gave the Donbass to the region of Ukraine, and then the Kharkiv. That was. I don't think is that part of Donbass. But anyway, they gifted that, and then they take other portions over here from Moldova and Poland, and well, I don't know. I think Lvov might have at one time been Polish. Sometimes these things have been switching over back and forth quite a bit. Even part of Belarus was part of Poland at one time, but then again, if you start looking at those countries, they were part of Belarus. So should Belarus go over there and say, well, this was our country at one time, so we want it back? Maybe Russia should go say, well, we want Finland back because we had all of Finland. But you're the bad guys. The bad guys. How come you bad guys, you never demand the stuff back? But the good guys always, like Ukraine, the fledgling democracy, the great democracy of Ukraine, flowers and butterflies, I don't know. They want to keep these lands for these people speak Russian language that never ever in their whole existence never wanted to be a part of Ukraine under any circumstances. I know, but they want them back. Maybe that's why they're killing them, because they said, well, we can get rid of you guys, ethnically cleanse you guys, and then we'll just move some Ukrainians in. But I think they had a deal. They said, you have to stop speaking Russian, you have to pledge allegiance to the Ukraine and all that kind of crap. So, and a lot of them didn't really want to do that. So anyway, yeah, and I hear the U.S. is still sending weapons to Ukraine. Yeah, and of course they're sending money. And they're giving intelligence. Everybody knows that if the U.S. was not giving them intelligence, well, now they're kind of switching over using satellites from Europe. But if the U.S. was not giving them intelligence, they would not be able to hit anything. Not even a lot of these buildings. They send drones, of course, and they do use a lot of drones, but they send a lot of missiles. And remember, there was a missile fired from Ukraine, and it hit what was the name of that? It was an airplane. And it was filled with Ukrainian prisoners of war that they were shipping to give back to Ukraine in the exchange, and Ukraine shot it down and killed those people. Wow. It's just like when they had a camp in Donetsk with Ukrainian POWs, and Ukraine was bombing that. They were bombing their own POWs, Azov people and all that. So makes you really wonder. A lot of those people do know that in Ukraine, and that's one reason why they don't want to go fight. And apparently, I would tell you what, I would be losing my love for that government immediately. Ursula von der Leyen, she's on the way. She's on the way for the rescue. She says now that she can deal with Donald Trump from a position of strength. You know, the EU. So she's basically saying that the EU, she was, and she hinted very strongly at this, that the EU is equal in strength to the United States. So it's not like they've been sinking very, very quickly lately in the past couple of years. No. They're anyway. And then some of this latest news that I just saw. And you know, you always were hearing about these tariffs that Trump was going to impose, like this day of reckoning or whatever he called this on the 2nd, which is today. It was today, the 2nd of April. But apparently, it's now he's decided he's going to extend 25% sanctions on the entire globe as the master of the universe. So everybody's going to get 25% sanctions, and Starmer and the UK is they're feverishly trying to find a way. I don't really know what you have to do for the United States to avoid 25% sanctions. I don't know. Most people aren't going to make it. He didn't give them, a lot of people, much chance. And I tell you, I don't know if this is going to work very well. Pretty soon, a lot of people are going to start looking for other partners and say, well, we don't want to get anything from the United States anymore. They could go take those Chevrolets and Fords and stick them where the sun doesn't shine, and I'm going to start buying some Chinese cars that actually, by the way, are better. It's very strange. You know, I'm an American, but I'm seeing these people with these Chinese cars. They got, I mean, it's like, and they're really solid, and they got a huge amount of extras in them. All sorts of things that those cars can do. It's just amazing. So I'm thinking, why would anybody want one of these weak, bad gas mileage, crappy American cars? I don't know. Maybe they're better now. I just know the old days. So, yes. So 25% tariffs. Oh, in the Senate. Did I say that? I already mentioned the 500%. If you buy your stuff from Russia, 500% tariffs. And I think that one is going to come if Russia does not sign a peace that will be dictated to them. And if it was up to Lindsey Graham, he would just write it verbatim from whatever Zelensky says. You know, his PIS plan, Zelensky's PIS plan, which is surrender of Russia. So I don't really know what the heck. And but we'll see if Trump is actually going to make a deal with Russia, or they're gonna, or who he's going to be dictating to. He's not even been dictating to Zelensky, so it makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder what is going to be going on here. Or is this not even going to happen for a long time? Okay, Israel television was saying that there will be an attack on Iran very soon. That's what they're saying on mainstream media, in the news in Israel. It's like, do they know something that we don't know? You know, sometimes apparently there is Israel has some information, and I'll tell you what, I don't like it. Even if it's said by some woman on the TV there, like, doesn't look like she's in the military at all. So anyway, Israel's made threats and stuff before, so yes. And that's pretty much it, you know. Like I said, I wanted to also mention, you know, that all these strikes that Ukraine is doing on Russia, and I've been following them, and a lot of people have, and the United States is completely silent on them, as if they never happened. And then Trump is also, he's more angry at Putin than he is at Zelensky. You know, like that, he's saying that Putin is stalling, and he's getting ready to put sanctions on Russia because Putin is stalling. And it's like, well, what is he stalling? I don't know. I think it's kind of backwards a little bit. I thought it was Zelensky that was saying, well, no, we don't like this. Oh, we don't want that. You know, like the minerals deal and all that. I don't know. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors between some of these people in the West? You know, we don't have behind closed doors very much over here in Belarus or in Russia. But these people, they love that in the United States. Look at that, an island out there. Is that Diego Garcia? Oh. Anyway, that's about it, people. And I'll take a nice photo somewhere around here to put on the opening page. Oh, and one reason why I'm here is because, like I said, that the videos, they had uploaded much more quickly when I was here. And I know that one of them was here and it was very fast. So let's see if that happens again. Yeah, what is it? It's after 3, maybe about 3. It's about 3:30 over here right now, Minsk time. So let's see when this comes onto the internet. So let's find out. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.